Oliver Nona's doing it to him. It's the Los Angeles Harry Styles pop-up menu with all the fun merch that is violently expensive. $100 for that bomber jacket. But you know I caught that $35 beanie though. I had to cop. We're here, we're ready. I was gonna do a get to know me video, which I feel like I'll do in another video, but I think I'm gonna do a story time for my trip to LA this weekend for one night only at the Forum to see Harry Styles. I did in my Airbnb story time, that was related to Harry Styles because I was following him on tour. But I think I'm gonna do a separate story time of that whole excursion because that was like a whole fucking trip. That was like a whole fucking story. So I think I'm gonna do that in a different story time. But for this story time, I'm going to do my trip to LA. About a month ago, Harry Styles announced that he was performing on SNL, and I was just like, boy, I have to be there. I was in New York for that, but I couldn't cop SNL tickets. One, I'm not the bitch to sleep out on the street for a week. Like, honestly, the girls that slept out on the street are braver than US Marines, in my opinion. But I can't do it. And so I was like, I guess I'll just like be in the same city as he's performing in while he's performing. He said that he was having a one night only celebration, which turns out to be false because as we know now, he announced a date in London, which he performed tonight, which I was shook by. Such a bomb-ass performance that I watched via live stream. But prior to that, US, he was like, I'm having a one night only celebration in LA at the Forum. And so I think it's definitely applicable for tour. I don't know if it was applicable for the one night only, but I think Pitt was supposed to be 18 plus. It's like, okay, so you only fuck with LA bitches and you only fuck with adults. You said fuck the children with your full ass chest. Bet. I was like, I have to be there. I have to be there. I'm going to be there. And so when pre-sale rolled around, couldn't cop a ticket. BT dubs, I had already bought my plane ticket because when he announced the one night only celebration in LA, I checked and literally from Boston, where I'm at, to LA, it was $200 round trip, which I've never seen that kind of price. Like, I have a cousin in LA and I have some friends in LA, and when I've looked at plane tickets, like, they've always cost like more than $300. So the fact that it was $200 round trip, I was like gagged. And it was leaving on a Friday, getting back on a Sunday, so you'd think it would be more expensive when it's on the weekends, but no. And so I was gagged, and so I kind of blacked out and I bought the ticket before I had the concert ticket. So that happened. Pre-sale rolls around, couldn't cop a ticket. General sale rolls around, couldn't cop a ticket. And so I'm like, I have a plane ticket to this concert that I don't have a ticket to. And I was like, the clownery. Like, I was on my utmost clown behavior. And so I was just kind of like waiting around until either a ticket popped up, and thank fucking God, girls I met on tour a year and a half ago came through, hooked me up with a face value ticket, but they were like, it's behind the stage, don't know how you're gonna finesse Pitt. And I was just like, we're gonna make it work. And so other biddies that I met on tour had Pitt tickets and were like, let me just, like, you can use my ticket. And I was like, bet, thank you. So I left Boston at 6 a.m. I had to leave my house at like 3 a.m. to get to the airport for like 4 a.m. and my small Irish Catholic mother drove me to the airport. We are literally in the car for like 5 minutes at 3 in the morning, and we're already like screaming at each other. And I was just like, this is a great start. So I get to the airport, everything works out, get on the plane lands safely, thank God. And I deadass like I have a rental car, I go straight to my friend's hotel room, we get ready, we go straight to the Forum. And I literally had anxiety shits about this for probably like 1 week leading up to it, like straight anxiety shits. And then that day, the anxiety shits were so real because I wanted to get into Pitt, I wanted it all to work out. And then I don't know why I was nervous. I feel like there was just so much hype to this like one performance, and I was just like, I have to shit. Like, it was so bad. I was like getting nervous. I was like, oh my God, this is like, I'm fragile. This is too much for me to handle. And so we're like in line. We're like going through the line. I'm like fucking freaking out because this is like the pit line. And I'm just like, I got a screenshot, bet. And so we get up to the front and they were just like, click the option tab to make sure it's not a screenshot. And I was just like, y'all really about to call me out in public on my clownery? And so I had to like, well, me and like the girls I was with, we had to go through like this whole thing with the manager of like the pit area. And I was just like, oh my God, like I don't have data. Like I can't get on Ticketmaster. Like I took a screenshot because I just don't have data. And somebody sent me these tickets and I bought these tickets and I need to get in. And the guy was just like, okay, go. Like, we won't be as kind next time. I was just like, okay, bet. So we get into pit. It was amazing. It took a while for him to come on stage because there was a lot of issues with the whole forum security and like the management, and clearly there were way too many people in pit and way too many people finessed pit that were not supposed to be in pit. Like, you saw like entirely like around the bowl area of the arena was like empty, and then you saw pictures of people taking of the pit area and it was completely filled. Harry comes on, he's just like, oh, so y'all let anybody in? It said it was supposed to start at 7. He comes on at 9. I was wearing these like stiletto heels. I cannot tell you how much pain I was in. So much pain. I was dying, and literally like halfway like through the show I was like, y'all, like I gotta take these shooters off. I gotta take them with. They gave me height so I could see. I think I was probably like a few inches taller in them, and then I come back down to my normal height and I'm like, well, the back of everybody's heads looks great. Yeah, he comes on. Like, this album is so good, and I'm not just saying this because I'm up his ass. I feel like people are like, oh, like you're gonna like any of his stuff. If it was whack, I would let y'all know. Like, I stay letting y'all know. I feel like his merch team has fully flopped. Still bought some of the merch though, but across the board I'm like, your merch kind of flops. Get a better merch team. Like, literally there are so many girls on Twitter that do so many amazing designs and would literally like fill Harry's pockets, would fulfill his coin if they were hired to be his merch team. So I acknowledge a flop when there's a flop. This album, however, does not flop. This album slaps so hard. Like, it is so good, like across the board. And I don't listen to albums in their entirety that often. This is an album that you can really listen to in its entirety, and it's succinct and it makes sense, and the music is so complex and intricate. Like, the more you listen to each song, the more you hear like little things. I think it's at the beginning of To Be So Lonely, you can hear him light a match and blow it out. Like, it's just shit like that it's just. And even in Cherry, like at the end of when the voice note starts and it's like cuckoo, you can hear cuckoo at the beginning of the song, and then you can also kind of hear phantom cuckoos like at different parts throughout the song. And it's stuff like that you're just like, so much thought and energy went into creating this body of work. It is so much fun, and it's like introspective, and I just love it. And to see it live was like such an experience. I mean, he even said, he was like, I don't think we're gonna perform top to bottom this album again. And I don't think he performed it top to bottom in London, because somebody was saying that he excluded Cherry from the set list in London. I'm like, boy, I'm about to pull up on your ass if you take that off the set list. I fuck with that song. And then he incorporates songs from Self-Titled, his first album, and he does a few other trinkets, one of them being fucking Landslide with Stevie goddamn Nicks. So we saw Stevie Nicks sitting with Ellen like right above us. Like, they sat down and we're like, is that fucking Ellen and Stevie Nicks? And also looking back at the concert, there were mad heads there. There was Liza Koshy, Brittany Broski, Matt Belisai. He was like doing the HSHQ for the Instagram live for the night and like taking like back scenes stuff. Mick from Fleetwood Mac was there too. So many fucking heads were there. But we saw Ellen and Stevie Nicks sitting together, and we were just like, gag. And then halfway through the show, Stevie Nicks wasn't there anymore, and my dumbass brain, I was like, she's a fucking magical woodland creature. Like, she can get up and leave whenever the fuck she wants because she's Stevie goddamn Nicks. And then my friend said to me, she was like, she's gonna get on stage with him. And I was like, why would you say that? Because I will lose my shit. Like, I will fully break down. And that's exactly what happened. As soon as he started talking, he was like, it wouldn't be an album release without this person, because she performed with him at the Troubadour at his first show going solo. And he brings Stevie goddamn Nicks out onto the stage and sings Landslide. I cannot tell you how many times I have watched that video of him and Stevie at the Troubadour and cried. They vibe. They just be vibing though. They just have such a connection and they have such good energy together, and it was just so powerful to watch that. Like, to see that in person and to like hear that, like, I was in shock. So amazing. Also, copped this ticket for $25. It was crazy. Like, that was such a highlight. And then he sang Paul McCartney's Christmas song, fucking sang Kiwi, brought Kiwi out the bag. Kiwi fucking hits different live. That shit gets me going every time. Like, during his final show in LA on the last tour, he fucking played Kiwi 3 times in a row. The chaos. And you could also just like tell he fucking missed being on stage. Like, he missed that energy. Like, he has such a presence on stage that it was just like, the fuck am I supposed to do after this? Like, I fucking took a plane to get here. Like, the hell? So after that, I stay at a hotel. I get up and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what am I supposed to do? But he stays keeping us busy because he had his pop-up shop in LA. And I go to the pop-up shop. I meet up with some my biddies that I met on tour. We're like literally at the front of the line, and fucking Harry's manager Jeff is right there, and I'm just like, oh my god, hi. And I don't know why, like, I stay acting like a fool in public, but literally I was like filming all of us and like, hey, like, I was just like, oh my god, hey, we know, you think we bad as fuck. Why did I say that? I mean, he laughed, but I was just like, the utmost clown behavior. We get into the pop-up shop after that. So cute. Like, everything is so cute. And there were like so many, you know, like different moments to have like in the pop-up shop and take pictures. And then there was the merch, which I don't think his merch has really been slapping as it did during the self-titled era. However, there are pieces that do slap, and I did get them because, you know, Harry stays in my bag. And as we're in line to check out for our stuff, his stylist fucking Harry Lambert pops out the gate and is just like perusing around the pop-up shop. And we're just like, hi. And we got to like say to him like how influential he is and how iconic he is, and like just how much like Harry's style means to all of us, and that he like has a hand in that. And we just like wanted to say thank you. And he was the nicest, like so nice, and so sweet. And so that was really cool. And then after the pop-up shop, I drove to Malibu. I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to Malibu. And I stayed at this like bougie hotel. There were so many little details of the hotel that I loved. So I don't really live a fancy lifestyle when it comes to my living accommodation. I kind of grew up in like a busted ass house where like everything was always broken. And so if something just works, I'm kind of down with it. So the fact that this was like, literally, I had like a robot toilet that one had heated seats. I didn't even want to sleep in the bed. I wanted to sleep on the fucking toilet because it was heated. It was like so relaxing. I was like, taking a shit on a heated seat? Like, my poor ass being could have never imagined that was a thing. Heated seats on a toilet? I know what I want for Christmas. And it was like, you could hit buttons, and it had like a bidet function. It had like a flush button. It had like, you could adjust it like different ways. And I was just like, okay, the life to live. It had this bougie ass sleep mist. It had like a fireplace. The pillows were so luxurious. I had a porch. I had a big ass TV that when I went in there was already playing like smooth jazz. There was a letter with my name like typed out. It was like, Miss Donahue. And I was just like, okay, gag. I had like a full fridge of wine and like other liquors, had some snacks. It was just lovely across the board. And oh my god, the food there too was so good. Like, I had dinner there. I had free range chicken and risotto. Like, they had to specify that it was free range. I was like, bitch, I'm gonna still eat it either way. It was so lovely. I had a glass of wine, and then I'm like in bed by like 9:30. I was like, and also what made me feel good about West Coast time is because it's 3 hours behind East Coast time. So really I was waking up at like 10:30, but it was 7:30, so I was just like, I'm so productive. But it was super nice. And the next day I like wanted to go down the beach, and I wanted to like walk the pier before I left, and I wanted to also get breakfast before doing all that. So I get breakfast. It was mad fucking bright. I forgot to bring my sunglasses. So I was like, they were like, do you want some reading materials while you eat your breakfast? And I was like, that sounds lovely. And they were like, Los Angeles Times, Wall Street Journal, or the New York Times. And I was like, make it the New York Times. And so I'm like sitting there like reading a paper. I don't fucking read a paper. I got my phone for that shit. And so I had put the paper like across from me, and I had my drink and I had my breakfast, and it was a delicious breakfast while I ate it because I didn't stack the papers right. So a big gust of wind comes, fucking takes my glass, shatters it on my meal, and my meal is just like in shards of glass and mimosa. And I was like, oh, lovely. And they were so nice. They were like, oh, do you want like fruit and toast? And they like cleaned it all up. And I was just like, oh, like, yeah, that'd be nice. Because they were also like, do you want us to make you another one? And I was like, don't make me another one. Like, I'm not gonna eat all of this again. And then when I was just like, oh, like, I ate my toast and ate my fruit or whatever, which was so fucking good. I like asked the waiter, I was like, oh, like, whenever you're ready, I'll take the check. And he was just like, oh, no check. And I was just like, bitch, like, I am a server. Like, at heart, I am a server. You cannot tell me that there's no check, because I will feel really bad. Like, I need to pay. I need to pay. But I didn't have to pay, which was really, really nice, on my bank account, because this trip was not nice to my bank account. So after that, I like walked the pier. It was beautiful. There was like a moment I was on the Malibu pier, and I was like looking out into the ocean, and it was like such a beautiful day. And LA bitches be like, oh my god, 66, chilly. I was like, y'all don't know chilly. You don't know chilly. Like, unless you have had a full-on breakdown shoveling snow, you don't know chilly. I like was on the Malibu pier, and I was just like looking out into the ocean and just thinking about like how lucky I am. Like, granted, the past, few months have been trying, taking Accutane, which has been great for my skin. Have loved it, but one of the side effects is that it can increase depression, which it did. And even just like the week I've been off it now, I feel like so much better. I feel like a rush of energy, and I don't feel like I'm as fucking depressed as I was before. And so I'm like looking out, and I'm just like, I started crying because I'm like, this is like, what life is this? Like, just like, could not have pictured this like in my wildest dreams. And so that was a really cool moment to just kind of like reflect and be like, wow, life fucking sucks most of the time, but it's also like really beautiful. Like, there are moments like these that are just so beautiful. And how like lucky I am to be like fucking sipping coffee like on a pier in Malibu, and it's beautiful. It's not like horribly hot. There's like a nice cool breeze, and just like watching kids like run up and down the pier, and people just having a beautiful Sunday. It was really special. Sad bitch hours only. I get my car afterward, I checked out, and oh my god, their shower was so nice. I was just like standing in the shower like, so I copped this. I copped like some of that lotion and shit they had. They had like a towel that exclusively said makeup remover, and I was just like, bougie. They had like a cappuccino maker. They had like a reusable bag, like a reusable beach bag. And so I leave, I get in my car, I drive back like toward like, I don't really know anything about Los Angeles. Like I don't know like what to call what. I headed closer toward like the heart of Los Angeles. I don't even know if that makes sense. Like, I headed toward Los Angeles. I was in Los Angeles County, but like headed toward Los Angeles from Malibu to LA. And because my cousin, his wife, and kids live in LA, and I really wanted to visit them and have some time with them because, the kiddos are little baby. Even just having not seen the eldest in a year, and then the little baby was just born in September, to like get to see, like, they just changed so much, and like, oh, they're so imaginative, and yeah, it was a great visit. And then if I can come home in this bullshit, fucking snowing, there's a snowstorm like 2 days later after I got home, and I was just like, okay. So if anyone wants to hire me for anything in LA, I don't have standards, so I will work to do anything. Yeah, it was a great trip. It was really, really fun. The London show was for UK fans only, but if I could have went to that show tonight, I would have. However, I have a job, so couldn't go. Also, can't fucking afford a plane ticket from Boston to London. I mean, maybe I could have copped it. No. Well, yeah, I'm so excited for tour. I'm so excited for like this era. I just think it's like so much fun. I love the album. I'm really excited for when he comes to the US to tour. I really want to go to some of his Europe shows though. We'll see. I'll try and finesse. I love Harry Styles. I love traveling. I love my friends. I love California. Y'all want to get me a job? And yeah, I think I want to do more story times like this. We'll see. Anyway. Stay mad.